And let's come on down and take a few breaths. We're going to bring our knees to our chest and rock a little side to side. And make some circles with the hips. So we'll get our hips going and circle in the opposite direction. And let's put our feet down, arms over our head, and take 3 slow breaths. Feel how the chest is opening. And then we're going to keep our arms like they are and just roll the hips over, roll the knees over to the right, and turn our head to the left or wherever it can go, and stretch the left arm out. Take a couple more deep breaths. And let's roll them over to the other side and bring the right arm out. And then we're going to come back to the center, feet on the ground, and let's reach the hips up, and we're going to bring the arms up at the same time and roll up and roll down. And let's do one more and hold ourselves up and take some deep breaths and lengthen the fingers and the arms. And then as we roll down, we're going to bring our hands behind our head. And let's bring the right knee to the left elbow and do a few of these diagonal stretches. One knee and then the other. And one more to each leg. And then we're going to do regular crunches and bring the knees up and the head up and down. And 2 more like this. And then let's bring the knees in and legs straight out, squeezing the legs together. And 5 more. And then we're going to put our head down and let's bring our legs straight up and do our pointing and flexing of our feet. And make circles with the feet, just wake up the ankles. And circle in the opposite direction. And then we're going to start to bring one knee toward the chest and then the other, stretching the legs out. And we're going to take the legs down and up as we do this. So we're waking up the hips. And let's start to bring them back up again. So there's evenness, and we're even working on our balance as we do this. And then again, we're going down and bringing him back up. And then both legs are straight up. Let's open and close. And first we're just going to do a few like this. So we're pressing our hips down. And the next time as the legs open, we're going to reach the arms through as we lift the chest, and then arms over the head. And 5 more. And then last one. And now let's put our left foot down on the mat, and we're going to hold our right foot in half happy baby and stretch that hip down to the mat. Kind of lengthen, roll that right shoulder down. Let's take a few more breaths. And still holding the leg, we're going to straighten it up and bring it out to the right and keep the left hip down. And one more breath. Then let's release that foot, and we're going to cross it over the left thigh and roll the legs to the left. And let's take a few breaths here. And then last deep breath. And we're going to uncross and come back to the center and put the right foot down, left leg up in our half happy baby, holding the left foot or calf muscle, whatever you can reach. Roll that left shoulder down. And then let's straighten the left leg. And we're going to bring it out to the left, pressing the right hip down. Now let's bring that leg back over, and we're going to cross it over the right thigh and roll the legs to the right for another spinal twist. And a couple more slow breaths. Really good. Let's uncross and come back to the center with both feet down. And let's roll our hips up again and walk the shoulder blades together. And take a few more breaths. And then we're going to roll the hips down, and let's do regular happy baby. So holding both feet and rock a little side to side. And then a couple more breaths in the center, pressing the hips down. Let's bring our feet into Baddha Konasana. And then we're going to release that and feet back down on the mat. And let's bring our feet together, knees together, roll the hips up and squeeze everything together, and take a few more breaths. And then we're gonna roll down, and let's roll over to our left side and our left forearm. So we're pressing the left forearm down, and we're gonna reach the right arm up and then lift the hips up. So half arm side plank. And then roll yourself to the center in a half arm plank. And let's roll to the other side of right arm half plank. And then we're going to come down and let's just sit up. And we're going to sit cross-legged on our mat. And let's do a little forward fold, a hip hinge, and breathe. Let's walk our arms to the right. And then over to the left. And to the center, and we're going to come on up and twist to the right, roll the shoulders down. And then let's twist to the left. And let's come to the center, right hand down. Let's do our side stretch, left arm up, and breathe. Maybe the forearm can come down. We're going to put our left hand behind our head and roll the chest open. And then straighten the left arm out and let's come on up and over to the other side. Left hand or forearm down, right arm over. Now let's bring the right hand behind our head and roll the chest open. And then straighten the right arm out. And we're going to come on up and reach both arms up over our head and clasp our hands and lean to the right. So let's use our obliques and then lean to the left. And back to the center, let's bring the arms down and come on over to hands and knees and into puppy pose. So lengthening the mid-back, 3 more breaths. And then sit back into child's pose and walk the arms to the right. And over to the left. And to the center. And let's try some iguanas. So we're going to reach the hips forward as we look up. Come back to child's pose. And 3 more. We've got 1 more time. And let's stay in our child's pose for 3 breaths. And then downward dog. And let's see if we can press each heel down a few times, stretching out the back of the legs and really bending that knee. So we're starting to work the hips a little bit more. Now let's lift the right leg up behind us, three-legged dog. And then put the right foot down and left leg up, three-legged dog. And left foot down and plank to dog. And do 3 more times. And stay in our plank. 3 more breaths. And let's come all the way down, chaturanga, and 5 cobras. And then we're going to press back to child's pose. And downward dog. And right leg lifts up. Let's step it forward in a lunge. Take a couple of breaths, lengthening the chest down to the thigh. And then step the leg back, downward dog, and switch. Left leg lifts up, steps forward. Another couple of breaths. Step back, down dog. And then we're going to walk to the top of our mat and come halfway up and forward fold. And let's come all the way up, reaching the arms up, hands to our heart. We're going to lift our right knee up, and let's just stand on our left foot. A couple more breaths. And then right foot down, left knee up. And then left foot down. Let's inhale the arms up, forward fold. Step our right leg back to that lunge. Reach the left arm up, spinal twist. Come back to down dog. And right leg lifts up and steps forward. And the left halfway up, forward fold. Let's come all the way up. Hands to heart. We're going to twist the upper body to the left and then to the right, back to the center. Let's inhale the arms up, forward fold. Step the left leg back. Reach the right arm up, spinal twist. And then we're coming back to down dog. Left leg lifts up and steps forward. And the right. And then halfway up. Forward fold. And let's come all the way up. Hands to our heart. And take 3 breaths. So we're going to lift the right knee up and do our can-can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and warrior 3. Right leg back. Now let's step back, warrior 1, arms up as we square our hips. 3 breaths. Let's lengthen the arms forward, right hand down, left arm up, spinal twist. And both arms up, palms together. And then we're going to clasp our hands and come into humble warrior. Inhale and forward fold. And let's come up in our back bend, opening the throat. Reach the arms up, back to warrior one. And let's step our right leg forward and we're in Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths to get centered. And then left knee up. Can, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and warrior 3, left leg back. And step the leg back, warrior 1. And let's take 3 more breaths. Reaching the arms forward, left hand down, right arm up. And then both arms up, palms together. Now we're going to clasp our hands behind us, humble warrior. And then forward fold to release our head. And then up in our back bend. And reaching the arms up, back to warrior 1. Take a deep breath. We're going to step forward and we're back in Tadasana. And then Utkatasana. 3 breaths here. And then forward fold. Release the head. Let's step back, downward dog. And lengthen for 3 breaths. Now we're going to lift the right leg up behind us. Let's come into plank and back to dog, keeping that leg up. Hips are square. And 1 more. Now we're going to switch legs, right foot down, left leg up, into plank, back to dog, and then 4 more. And 1 more. And then left foot down. Let's come into our child's pose again and stretch the toes on the way down. Bring our arms behind us. Release the head, 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly sit up on the heels. We're going to twist to the right. And then over to the left. Just feel the shoulders rolling down. Come to the center. And then let's put both hands down, lift the hips up, and stretch the quads. Here we go for table stretch. Putting our feet on the mat, lifting our right leg up, and then the left, and keep going right and left. 1 more to each leg, the right leg and the left leg, And then we're going to put our bottoms down and come into our boat pose. So both legs out and in 10 times. And one more. And then big V with our feet on the mat and forward fold, hinging forward and looking down and taking a few breaths, stretching those glutes out. And 3 more breaths. And then slowly sitting up. So we're going to straighten our left leg out. We're going to work on our hip a little bit. So we're going to bend our right leg and put the right foot down. So kind of wherever you can hug that right shin and still sit upright. So it might be closer, it might be a little farther away. Just take a couple of breaths here. So we're stretching out the hip. We're pressing our left leg down and extending through the heel. Now let's turn and twist to the right. And one more breath. And we're going to come back to the center. And now we're going to grab the right foot and start to reach the leg out. So hamstring stretch. Roll the shoulders down. Let's just hold that foot with our right hand and reach the leg out. See if we could sit up even taller. Now we're going to bend the leg and cradle it in the left arm. So we're going to do this rock-a-baby kind of a stretch here, cradling that right leg and rocking the leg back and forth for the hip stretch. And a couple more times. And then when you're ready, setting that leg down on, so the right foot is on top of the left thigh. You might have to hold underneath your right leg so it's not too much of a stretch. See if you can get the leg 90 degrees. And take a few more breaths. And sit up tall. Now we're going to release the leg, the right leg down to the mat and take a couple of breaths. Can be kind of an intense stretch for the hip. And then bend the left leg in. We're going to do the same thing. This side might be a little different. Kind of squeeze that leg into the left side as you press the foot down. Right leg is pressing down to the mat, extending to through the heel. Now we're going to twist to the left. So hug that right hand around the leg, twist to the left. And then we're coming back to the center. And we're going to hold the left foot in our hands and straighten the leg out. Roll the shoulders down and breathe. Let's hold the foot with just the left hand, bringing the leg out to the left and sitting up tall. Now we're going to bring it in and hold the right or the left foot in the right elbow and do the cradling and rock a baby and stretch the hip out. And a couple more times, just kind of rock that leg and the hip. And now we're going to bring the left foot down on the right thigh. So the leg is 90 degrees. Just that bend you could hold underneath the left leg. And sit up tall and take a few more breaths. And last deep breath. And let's put the left leg down so we're in Dandasana. And just sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down. Let's bring our hands to our heart. And as we squeeze the hands together, we're going to roll the shoulders down and lengthen the spine. Now we're twisting to the right, and we're going to cross the left elbow over the right thigh. And one more breath. We're coming back up to the center, and then twisting to the left, and cross the right elbow over the left thigh. And one more breath. And coming back to the center, arms all the way up, and then hinging forward. Let's lengthen forward, holding the feet if you can, releasing the head. And 5 slow breaths. And last slow breath, lengthening the exhale. We're going to come on up, put our hands down, bend the legs, feet down, back to table stretch. And looking up or letting your head come back. And then let's walk forward into a squat. Take a few breaths. And then forward fold, lifting the hips. And let's come all the way up to standing, reaching our arms up. And hands to our heart. Now we're going to bend that right knee into the chest. We're going to hug, remember how we were when we were sitting? So we're holding the right shin. We're going to hold on to it with the right hand. Bring the knee open and close 5 times. And then knee comes back in. Let's bring the foot down and switch. Hugging in that left leg, so holding the left shin. And now right arm out to the right. So let's bring that leg open and close 5 times. One more. And then left foot down. Let's inhale the arms up. Forward fold, 3 breaths, release the head. We're going to step back to plank and bring one knee down and then the other in our mountain climbers. And then chaturanga. Let's bring our arms over our head, 3 breaths. We're going to bend the right leg and hold the right foot and flex the foot, press the hip down. Now, still holding that foot, let's roll over to the left hip. We're going to take that leg out in front of us. We're going to come into a spinal twist. We're going to reach the right arm up over our head and lengthen and breathe as we twist. And just adjust yourself so you feel comfortable. And 3 more breaths. So now we're going to bend that right leg and hold the foot again. Hold the ankle. Just see where you are with this. And we're going to make some big circles with that leg. So we're holding the ankle, we're making these circles as the left hip and leg are stabilizing us. It's a little tricky. And then see if you can do a couple in the opposite direction. And 1 more. And then let's release that leg and roll back to our belly. And take a deep breath here. So we're lengthening and then bending the left leg and holding the left foot and pressing that thigh down into the mat. Now, still holding the ankle, we're going to roll to the right hip. Now we're going to release that leg forward in front of us. And left arm over our head and out to the side in a big spinal twist. And just adjust yourself so you feel comfortable and breathe. And a couple more slow breaths in the belly. Really good. We're bending that leg and then we're going to hold the ankle again and we're going to do these hip kind of circles, holding that foot. And just go slowly because we're balancing on that right leg and hip. And then go in the opposite direction with the circles. So we've been working on our hips today. And 1 more circle. And let's release the leg. We're going to roll back onto our belly. And then come into Sphinx pose. And take a few breaths. Just notice the difference in your spine. And then a half arm plank. To dolphin, lifting the hips up, walking the feet forward. And then downward dog, straightening out the arms, 3 breaths. Let's lift the right leg up. We're going to come into warrior 2. Let's see if we can bend a little bit deeper into the hip now. And let's start with a side arm. So we're going to put our right forearm down on the right thigh. Left arm reaches over the head. Lengthen, roll the chest open. And then we're going to slide the fingers down to the inside of the right foot. Take a deep breath or 2. Come into our twist, left hand down, right arm up. And then dragon and 5 push-ups. And let's come back to our side angle. Right fingers down, left arm straight up. And then we're going to come back to warrior 2 and 3 breaths. Straighten the right leg for Trikonasana. And let's come into half moon. So we're going to lift the left leg up and roll the chest open. And come back to triangle. And let's take 3 breaths. And then we're going to come all the way up and reach both arms up over our head in a little back bend. Hands between our legs. Let's go side to side, transverse lunges. And take another deep breath in the center. Now we're going to come all the way up, another back bend. And warrior 2, left foot out. And see about this side. Come a little wider, a little deeper. And we're going to start with our side angle. Left forearm down to the thigh. Right arm reaches over, roll the chest open. Now slide the left fingers down to the inside of the left foot. Keep stretching. And then right hand down to the mat, left arm up, and our twist. And then dragon and 5 push-ups. And we're going to come back to our side angle. Left fingers down, right arm up, and breathe. Now let's come back up, warrior 2. And let's come into Trikonasana, straightening our left leg. And then half moon, we're going to lift our right leg up. And one more breath. Let's come back to triangle. And we're going to take those 3 slow breaths. And come all the way back up. And let's reach the arms up. And we're going to clasp our hands over our head. Lean to the right. And then over to the left. And to the center, we're going to clasp our hands behind us. Inhale and look up and forward fold. Let's take 3 more breaths. Now, as we come up, we're going to bend the legs. So chest is lifting up, arms behind us. Stretching out the hips again and the groin. We're going to come all the way up, reach the arms up. And then let's come into goddess. And we're going to bring the elbows open and closed. Now let's keep the elbows open. We're going to lean to the right and then over to the left and to the center. 3 more breaths. And inhale up, downward dog. 3 breaths here. Let's lift our right leg up. Let's come into pigeon. Roll the hip open as you bend the knee and knee between our thumbs. And we're going to come into our back bend and open up the chest. And forward fold. And let's take 3 more breaths. And now we're going to come back to our down dog. And feel the difference now in your downward dog. And let's try the other side. Left leg lifts up, bend the knee, roll the hip open, and knee between our thumbs for pigeon. And let's come up on our fingertips for our back bend. And forward fold. And 3 more breaths. And we're going to make our way back to down dog. So let's feel the difference now. We're going to take a few breaths, rolling the shoulders down as you press each palm and finger down. Look between the legs and a couple more breaths as the hips lift even higher. Let's walk up to the top of our mat. And we're going to try rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time so our head comes up last. And just stand arms down by your sides and feel your breath. Notice how your feet are evenly pressing down into the mat. So we're going to reach the arms up, bring our hands to our heart. We're going to step the right leg back for pyramid, so hips are even, and let's come into our back bend. And forward fold. And take a couple more breaths, let the head hang. And then press the palms together. We're coming up in another back bend. And to the center, let's step the right leg forward. Take a breath. And then left leg steps back for pyramid. Squaring the hips, let's come in our back bend. And forward fold. We're lifting those quads up. A couple more breaths. And let's come all the way back up to another back bend. Easy does it. Back to neutral, we're going to step forward and take a deep breath. And let's come down in our squat. And take a few more breaths. Just notice your back now. And look down so you could stretch that upper back. 3 slow breaths. And we're going to roll all the way down, and let's come into our happy baby. And breathe. And a couple more breaths. Let's put our feet on the mat. We're going to roll the hips up, Setu Bandha. And breathe. Notice the difference in your spine. And then slowly rolling the hips down. Let's come into our spinal twist, knees to one side. And feel the difference in that whole side body. Lengthen, take another deep breath. And let's go to the other side for our spinal twist. And breathe. So notice everything that's lengthening now, the difference in your body. Let's come back to the center. One more big Setu Bandha. Lifting the hips up. And then slowly rolling down, we're going to come into our final pose of Shavasana. And lengthen our legs. And stretch the whole leg down as you close your eyes, palms facing up, and slowly breathing into the belly, the mid-chest, and the upper chest. Releasing any residual tension in your body. Noticing even the difference in your ribs as you breathe, soft and gentle. Feel the facial muscles and the jaw and tongue release any tension. Pressing the head down. Feeling the shoulders and arms release. And we're breathing into the chest and feeling that gentle rising and falling. And as we're breathing in, we're wishing ourselves good health and harmony. Peace to our homes and families and communities. And peace to our brothers and sisters everywhere. Let's gently begin to wiggle our fingers and toes. And stretch our arms in one direction, legs and feet in the other. And then roll to the side. And we're going to press ourselves up and gently bring our hands to our heart to seal in our practice together today. Let's take a slow inhale and sigh. One more time. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for coming today.
I hope you have a marvelous Wednesday.
Thank you.
Marian.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thanks so much.
bye.
Bye-bye.